If I would have told you 3 years ago, Matthew Stafford is traded to the LA Rams, we get Jared Goff, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia are fired, and the Detroit Lions are coming off a 5-11 season, that 3 years later, we would be heading into a chance to get to our first ever Super Bowl. If I were to tell you that we would be up dominating by 17 points heading into the third quarter, I'm sure you wouldn't believe me. Well, that's exactly what happened. And the Detroit Lions were ahead of the curve in a lot of regards to some people. I think that we were right where we needed to be, but some of you guys think that we were a year ahead of schedule. Well, the Detroit Lions are under nobody's radar now, going from the strong finish in the 2022 NFL season to the outright dominance in 2023. Their expectations are through the roof for 2024. And with that being said, you see it on the banner, the Detroit Lions, according to ESPN analytics, have the third best chance to win the Super Bowl coming up. I believe it is 59. Check this out. Here is the full list. Says 49ers at 16%. The Chiefs, that are back-to-back champions, they're trying to three-peat, 12%. The Lions, 10%, followed by the Cowboys, and even ESPN, I think this was added by Dan Mitchell coming from his Twitter, LOL, 9%. Ravens, who smacked all over us, 8%. The Eagles, 8%. The Bills, who can't get out of their own way, is 6%. The Bengals, 5%. And the Packers, 10 at 5% at number 9. I don't know who number 10 is, but your Detroit Lions are sitting with the third best chance to make it to the Super Bowl, to actually win the Super Bowl next year, not just make it. So if you look at the top 5, 4 of those were in the Final Four, with the Chiefs winning it all, playing the Niners in the Super Bowl, us, and then the Ravens were in the conference championship game. So the 10th best chance. I remember last year, we were like, everybody was talking about where that it could be, the Lions could be this, and they could, these odds that we were having. And we kind of were laughing at it a little bit, because a lot of us were like, well, we got to crawl before we can walk. I myself, I don't believe that at all. You can just come out and dominate. We've seen the team go from worst to first. We've seen the San Francisco 49ers, 2019, pick Nick Bosa. They wind up in the Super Bowl that year, losing, ironically, against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Cincinnati Bengals had the first pick in the draft, and then a year or two later wind up in the Super Bowl. I think it was 2 years later, Joe Burrow's second season, they wound up in the Super Bowl, right? So, or second or third, whichever one it was. So I never believed in that. You got to crawl before you can walk, but our odds have never been this high. What amazes me, though, is that the team that lost to the 49ers is ahead of the 49ers. And they didn't lose anybody, meaning I don't think either team really did. I know Eric Armstead, I believe, has left the 49ers, but pretty much both teams are still the same. We have gotten better, though. And how are the Niners above the Chiefs, who the Chiefs are the team to knock off right now? So the Detroit Lions with the third best odds above teams that have won the Super Bowl in the past couple of years. The Eagles have won. The Ravens with their dominant quarterback. The Cowboys, who can't get out of their own way. The Buffalo Bills with their quarterback play. The Cincinnati Bengals with their quarterback play. It amazes me that we don't have a ton of superstars on our team, yet we are third best statistically when it comes to analytically winning the Super Bowl, not just making the Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl. I tell you what, and I was saying this last year, okay, at the end of last season. Although the loss was devastating, I'm still getting over it. I have not watched the NFC title game. I have not even watched a clip of it, not a single, except something on Brian Baldinger, his Twitter account. I watched a one play, right? But outside of that, I have not watched it. We will be doing a reaction coming up after the last week of OTAs. We're going to react to every game, all 20 of them. They'll probably be released daily or something like that through 20 days while there's nothing happening in the NFL. But it's crazy to think how close we are, how close that we were last year. And that although I was devastated, I would much rather us get there and win it because of how difficult it is to get back than to get there and lose. So if you mean to tell me, and I've said this before, if Matt Patricia, if the pain that we've gone through is worth, like, is going to be paid off coming up in the near future, which I believe it is, it'll all be worth it, right? It will all be worth it. 4 teams have never been. 12 teams have never won. The Minnesota Vikings have never won. The Cincinnati Bengals have never won. The Buffalo Bills, I don't think they've won. The Minnesota Vikings, if I didn't say them, I'll say them again. They've never won. So it's a 12 teams, right? A third of the league have not won a Super Bowl. And just a small percentage has never been. We almost knocked that out, but we're going to do that. And then if we don't do it this year, we're going to do it very soon. I do believe that the Lions are going to get better and better and better. And I think that and it's weird seeing us up here. It really is. You're talking about top 3. Right now, we were a top 4 team to end the year, and we're going to start the year a top 3 team. That's crazy. That is crazy, man. How long have we waited to be part of a team like this? To our team but I still don't think that they're taking us serious. I really don't. The 49ers, what have they done except lose, 2 of the last 3? Like, they can't get out of their own way. And how are they ahead of us? How are they ahead of the Chiefs, who are back-to-back champions, who are trying to do something that no team has ever done in the National Football League Super Bowl era, which is win 3 in a row? The Patriots couldn't even do that. How are the Niners? That just tells you, like, that bias, man. But the Detroit Lions, man, they got a chance to shut everybody else. We are on the map. There's no hiding from anybody. There's no under the radar. We are here. Everybody's paying attention. And now we're going to have more eyes on us this year than I think we've had in a long time since Barry Sanders was playing. I honestly believe that. But let me know your thoughts, man. ESPN analytics. And I'm going to tell you what. One thing about these analytics, they're weirdly accurate, for real, because a couple years ago, they used the analytics and they predicted that the Detroit Lions, that 2022 team, was going to give up the most points in NFL history at 599 points. And throughout the first 7 games of the NFL season, that's exactly what they were doing. And if you guys remember, we fired Aubrey Pleasant, and then the defense was playing lights out from that point on. So there's some fluctuation, right? These are all just 1s and 0s, but at the same time, it's just amazing how they can put that stuff together, crunch in some numbers, man, and come out with these type of analytics and how accurate a lot of times that they are. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below when it comes to the Detroit Lions winning the Super Bowl. 3rd best odds at 10%, only under the Chiefs at 12 and the 49ers at 16. That is outstanding. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. We have 97 days until the season starts. Shout out to Aiden Hutchinson.